Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Gracious Father, as this new day begins, I come before you with a parent's heart, full of love, concern, and sometimes confusion as I watch my adult children navigate paths I wouldn't choose for them. You know the weight I carry when I see them making decisions that worry me, choices that seem to lead away from wisdom or peace. Yet, even as my heart longs to intervene, to guide, to protect as I once did, I recognize that their journey is now between them and you. This morning, I surrender my need to control their story and ask for grace to trust yours. You are the perfect Father, the one whose love surpasses even the deepest parental devotion I've known. You are El Roy, the God who sees. You see my children when I cannot. You know their hearts in ways I never will, and your understanding reaches into places my influence cannot touch. I worship you as the all-wise counselor who guides each generation according to your eternal purposes. This morning, I lay down my anxiety, my urge to fix what seems broken, my desire to rescue them from consequences I fear they'll face. I acknowledge the painful truth that my role has shifted. I am no longer the primary voice shaping their decisions, and that requires a surrender I find difficult but necessary. Help me embrace this new season with grace rather than resistance, with prayer rather than pressure. I declare that I am guided by divine wisdom in every interaction with my adult children. James 1:5 promises that if I lack wisdom, I can ask you, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to me. I receive that wisdom now, the discernment to know when to speak and when to remain silent, when to offer counsel and when to simply listen, when to share concern and when to hold my peace. I affirm that my words carry weight earned through decades of relationship, but I refuse to wield that influence as manipulation or guilt. Proverbs 10:19 reminds me that when words are many, sin is not absent, but whoever holds their tongue is wise. I embrace the dignity of restraint. I will not nag, lecture, or repeatedly voice the same concerns that have already been heard. Instead, I ask for grace to offer my perspective once, clearly and lovingly, then trust you to bring conviction or confirmation as you see fit. I declare that my adult children have the right to their own journey, their own mistakes, their own victories won through personal experience rather than borrowed wisdom. Lord, give me creativity in how I engage. Help me ask questions that invite reflection rather than making statements that trigger defensiveness. Teach me to affirm what is good in their choices, even when I disagree with the direction. Let me be a safe place they return to, not a source of judgment they avoid. I declare that my relationship with my children will not be sacrificed on the altar of being right. I stand upon this powerful truth. You love my children more than I do. While my love is deep and sacrificial, yours is infinite and perfect. Isaiah 49:15-16 declares, "Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. If even a mother's love can fail, yours never will. My children's names are engraved on your hands. They are never out of your sight, never beyond your reach, never forgotten in their struggles. I release them into your superior care. I confess that sometimes my anxiety suggests you're not paying attention, that somehow their choices have slipped past your notice or care. forgive me for that subtle unbelief. Psalm 139:16 assures me that all the days ordained for them were written in your book before one of them came to be. You have a plan for their lives that accounts for detours, delays, and even decisions I consider mistakes. You are the Redeemer, who works all things together for good, who brings beauty from ashes, who straightens crooked paths. I receive peace in knowing that your investment in my children's ultimate good far exceeds my own. Where my perspective is limited to what I can see, and my timeline is constrained by my earthly years, your view is eternal, and your patience is perfect. You're not panicked by their current choices because you see the long arc of transformation you're accomplishing. Help me see with your eyes, trust with your faith, and rest in your sovereign love that never fails. I declare that I am a powerful intercessor for my adult children. Though my direct influence has diminished, my spiritual authority as their parent remains strong and active. Psalm 103:17 promises that from everlasting to everlasting the Lord's love is with those who fear him, and his righteousness with their children's children. I stand in the gap for them, covering them with prayer even when I cannot cover them with my physical presence or guidance. Following Ephesians 6:18, I commit to pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests, alert and persistent in my intercession for them. When I cannot speak into their decisions, I speak to you about their hearts. When I cannot change their minds, I ask you to illuminate their understanding. When I cannot protect them from consequences, I pray for your mercy to temper justice and your grace to bring redemption from every mistake. I proclaim divine protection over their lives, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and financially. I speak wisdom into their confusion, clarity into their uncertainty, and courage into their fears. I pray that godly counselors will cross their paths, that they'll encounter your truth in unexpected places, that conviction will come gently but powerfully when they stray. I declare that the prayers I've prayed over them since before they were born are not wasted. Those words are alive and active, stored in heaven's treasury, released in your perfect timing. I receive supernatural peace that surpasses my natural understanding. Philippians 4:6-7 instructs me, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This morning, I present my specific concerns about my children's choices, naming them before you, then releasing them into your capable hands. I cast this burden on you, for 1 Peter 5:7 assures me that you care for me, and my cares deeply matter to you. The anxiety I feel about their decisions, the late-night worry, the replaying of conversations, the imagining of worst-case scenarios, I give it all to you. I refuse to carry what you never intended me to bear. I declare that my mind is guarded by your peace, my heart is anchored in your promises, and my emotions are submitted to your Spirit's control. I acknowledge the unique pain of this season, watching those I love struggle or err, unable to shield them as I once could. But I affirm that their struggles are not evidence of my failure as a parent. I've done my best with the wisdom and resources you gave me in each season of their lives. Now I trust that the foundation I helped lay will hold, that the seeds I planted will eventually bear fruit, that the example I modeled will speak when my words cannot. I release shame, guilt, and the burden of outcomes I cannot control. Father, I thank you in advance for the work you're doing in my children's lives, work I cannot see but choose to believe in. I trust your wisdom over my worry, your timeline over my urgency,
your love over my limitations. I receive grace to speak when you prompt, and peace to stay silent when you don't. I embrace my calling as their faithful prayer warrior, standing in the gap with intercession rather than interference. Thank you for loving them more perfectly than I ever could, for seeing what I cannot see, for being present in every moment of their journey. I rest in your sovereign goodness and trust that you, who began a good work in them, will carry it on to completion. This day, I choose faith over fear, trust over control, and prayer over panic. In Jesus' name, amen.